Guys, welcome to the LikeMinde channel. This is episode 2 with my good friend Milan, breathwork coach, spiritual coach, all around just like a health and wellness coach. And we met back when I was more into like the vegan life. Not even really like vegan, more just like healthy, like detoxing. Understanding that we all have like to heal basically. Because growing up in this system, you know we've all been over consuming, you know bad foods,
Dense
toxic things.
foods. Yeah.
So we meant through us individually understanding that. And he's just a great guy, and he's definitely like helped a lot of other people get onto this journey, which is honestly really hard, because those are the times where you really have to dig deep, and you have to understand who you are at the core, and break a lot of old habits. So I applaud you for that. And I appreciate you helping other people,
Yeah.
especially like in you help people even in like Europe and back home, right, where you're from.
So I was born and raised in Serbia, Europe, Southeastern Europe. For some people, Yugoslavia rings a bell. In 1990. So I'm 34 now, almost 35. After graduating college in 2013, when I was 23, when I really opened my eyes and saw just how much I was just a part of. I was just a part of this whole big system that was telling me what I'm supposed to do rather than me listening to myself. And that was like, okay. And I had the opportunity to come to the United States again, because my first year was in 2011. And then I went back to Serbia to finish college. In 2024, I was like, it's a no-brainer. Even the men in my family were like, bro, like just leave. Because
Yeah. What year was that?
2014.
Oh, 2014.
2014.
Okay.
And then first I went to Jersey for a couple months. Then I lived in Massachusetts for a year. And then when my sister joined me, I'm very grateful to have my sister with me here in Miami. We moved to West Palm Beach for a year. And then we moved to Miami in 2017. And
Nice.
that is when I said, because I was drinking and partying and smoking cigarettes up until West Palm Beach. And then when I moved to Miami, well, first of all, the main reason why I moved to Miami was I wanted to do modeling and acting. But second, I was like, kind of opposite to what a lot of other people do. They come to Miami to party.
Yeah.
I came here, I was like, no more going out, no more alcohol. And the interesting thing is about the cigarettes, my intention was never to quit smoking cigarettes. But when I started practicing breathing exercises or breath work, literally 2 weeks into the practice, it just
had to.
It was not, I had to, my body just rejected it.
Yeah.
It was like magic.
Well, I mean, when you're breathing super hard, like your lungs and all that stuff, like you're exercising them,
That's
so
exactly how I want to market breathing exercises, as a physical exercise.
Yeah, it is awesome. And I mean, I guess after over time doing it, your body just like couldn't even keep exercising with you smoking, right?
It's just, man, it's because I also exercise besides the breathing exercises. And I guess on one hand, it's working out the lungs and the heart, right? On the other, you are balancing, because the air we breathe doesn't only have oxygen, has all these other gases, right? And then cigarettes, right? That's a totally different gas.
Yeah.
So
man-made.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, yeah. I mean, not talking about tobacco, like the natural plant. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, exactly.
Whole other story. But I'm talking about like the processed stuff that they put in cigarettes. It's just your body. You probably understand that it's way beyond chemicals and biology and physics. So like even the best scientists admit that they don't really know everything. We just know a little bit. So I guess your just body gets used to a better way of being, and cigarettes just don't belong there, and then that's what happens.
Well, I mean, my dad used to smoke. Well, he does smoke cigarettes and stuff like that. So I always get like allergies and stuff like that when I'm near like the smoke and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
nowadays they have like the e-cigs, which doesn't even smell like a cigarette, doesn't smell like anything, but it could be worse than a cigarette in
There
a
are
way.
studies that show
You know,
that. Yeah.
there's probably like nanotechnology or something in
Who
that stuff.
knows, man? Like, one thing that I like to remind myself, and I think it's actually also good to start any conversation with, anything that's outside of my direct experience is highly uncertain, and I even question my direct experience regularly. Because there's so many stories, man. There's so many stories out there,
Yeah,
and depending on the individual, some are really attractive to believe, not believe only in them, but get indoctrinated in them. In that sense, anything can have, the people that talk bad about religion,
mm,
like religion is not the only thing. Religion, if practiced in the right way, can be a good thing.
of course.
But it's not only that. There's this thing called scientism. People that religiously believe that science is the absolute way
Of
of
course.
being and that it knows everything. So that's another
Yeah.
form of indoctrination. So just, you know, precisely because I mentioned this questioning, man, like, because you started talking about food, man. Like, when we met, I was also on that, in that phase of like literally eating 99% fruits and
Yeah.
vegan. I went through that phase, and
Yeah, I was too.
it felt good in that time. I still eat a lot of fruits and plant-based foods, but now, man, like, especially now seeing all these stories, you have like the same paper writing one day that eggs are good for you, the other day that they're bad for you. Like, that creates mass confusion.
Of course.
So looking at that, the two rules that I have regarding nutrition is: number one, minimize processed food; number two, fast regularly or take breaks from food regularly. That's
Exactly.
it.
Yeah. No, I mean, fasting is like an oil change
Yes.
for your car, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I like to correlate a lot of things. So, um, one reason that I went raw vegan is because, you got to kind of go, if you want to if you want to solve a problem, right? You go to the foundation,
Yep.
So, I was in biology class and I was learning about how we digest energy, and basically our blood, it needs carbon to work, just like a car needs, like a car's fuel system needs carbon, right, to work as well. So um the first sugar, right, which is carbon, that we digest is fructose, then glucose, then lactose, right? Lactose we can't digest after like we're a baby, right? And then glucose and fructose are like, one, glucose is vegetable sugars, and then fructose is fruit sugars. So that's like the most simplest form of sugar that we can ingest. So I kind of went at it with like a scientific way, and then with that,
That's how I started too.
I kind of just I just wanted to start there, right, and then just see how it went, but some people, they literally like go crazy for the fruits, and like anything else, if you eat a nut, you're like, they get scared of eating a nut. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I believe, man, it's all about the stories that they get indoctrinated in.
yeah.
I believe it's as simple as that.
And they probably had like, past traumas where,
Yeah.
If they made a mistake, you know, I don't know, some people like they get on a negative roll or something like that. Like one little thing happens and then they're scared of everything else.
Well, you're trying to dive deeper into psychology, man, and that is one of the biggest mysteries out there.
Of course. Yeah, it is. No, I mean, there's books about it. I mean, I
Yes.
have books here.
Well, there definitely are rules that
Yeah.
that are like general rules that apply to most people most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I've seen, man, in let's say in most things that I've experienced, most phenomenon, there's always exceptions, and that's why it's a little bit tricky to create an established system that functions. Some people say it's democracy. Some people bash like communism and stuff. Well, I would say that all of these, as in their ideal form, clearly don't work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be still killing each other.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the right way.
I do believe in our essence we are good, and that most of the people that are doing something that most people look at something that's bad, they're not bad people. They're just seeing things from their own perspective. And a lot of these people think they're actually doing something good. But I think the essence is we are trying
Yeah.
to overcome certain problems from the past.
Well, that's kind of like the whole point of like why I created, one reason why I created the podcast is because like mind, you know, everybody is like-minded in their own way,
Yeah.
you know. And that's kind of like how you can come up with like certain psychology and stuff, because you know people are thinking alike, you know, and they're reacting maybe not the same, but um I feel like a lot of the reasons, you know, are the same at the foundation of like what people think. So I mean, but again, it's not going to be specific. It's more going to be like a rounded theory, you know, because it depends on someone's situation and like exactly what happened to them, you know.
Being objective, man, I don't think we humans, on one hand, are designed to be objective. On the other hand, through various forms of self-discipline and cleansing and just getting to know yourself, you get to a point where you can see things with great clarity, and then you can get close to being objective. Let's
Yeah,
call it that.
because then you know like the kind of like where people are coming from in a way, because you've healed yourself, you know. That's why like healed people can heal people, because they've
Yeah.
gone through their own trauma, you know. Some people are still kind of like suppressing it, hiding from it, things like that. But man, that was a crazy time when we met. You know, I know
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
going through a lot of
Yeah,
things.
that was 2020, man.
Yeah,
The whole world was going through it.
exactly. Like it was 2020, like COVID happened, you know, so many crazy stuff is going on. You know, we have Biden winning the presidency and, you know, all that stuff. And we were deciding to eat only fruits and
Yeah.
fast and,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, do mushroom trips, at least for me.
Yeah. I done a couple of those.
You know, and it was deep. It was really deep. I even took DMT during that time one time. Like I didn't even plan on it. When the people used to tell me about DMT, I'm like, dude, what? That shit is crazy. And then while I was vegan, I was fasting. I think I was like I was on some type of mono fruit or something like that fast. And my buddy in Miami Beach had it, and we did it, and it was wild. We took it twice because the first time it wasn't like a full breakthrough or whatever, and then we did it again, and it definitely worked.
But that
You
thing
know?
lasts only like 5-10 minutes or something, right?
Yeah, it's super quick.
Yeah. It's
But
called the businessman's drug, right?
but bro, you zoom like
Yeah.
it's weird. Like you
Yeah.
go into another world, literally. Well, it's not even another world. It's, you know, it's the same world. It's just like a, you know,
Different,
deeper.
let's call it like different molecules within your body produce a different experience, man. And then you can,
Of course.
it really depends on so many factors. In our psyche, there's so many moving parts that and not only in this cycle, in our body, in our personal life, also the ancestral traumas, like what our parents brought onto us and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's weird. It's honestly it's pretty crazy, because you can't. That's something that science can't figure out. Probably is like the
Well,
science of the psychedelic old world.
or even Bobby Kennedy's talking about it now. No, it's
Yeah,
you can't. Gabor Mate is one of my favorite people in this area of science and spirituality, because he's a very good clinical psychiatrist, I think.
mhm.
He said he only started dabbling with ayahuasca and psychedelics later on in his life, when he was 40 and 50, and only then, when he was 40 and 50, that he realized that he had a form of, he was really into shopping, and he had this
Yeah,
addiction, and he only realized he had this addiction in his 40s or 50s or
yeah.
something, and he healed it in his 50s
Shopping, you
using,
said?
yeah, shopping, because he had this thing with like buying like
Just random.
CDs and records, or maybe random things, I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
the point is, with the help of psychedelics, proper use of psychedelics, he was able to heal this addiction, I think, when he was 50 or something.
Yeah.
That goes against what a lot of people believe. They think, oh my God, I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm too old. Like, nope, dude, like there's so many,
Yeah.
you
And I
know.
guess like too, fasting
Yes.
brings you
Yes.
closer to that as well.
Oh, fasting, in my opinion, is probably the number one, besides breathing exercises, because breathing exercises, anyone can do it and it literally takes 5 minutes a day. But like fasting goes deep. And I do, and you know, bro, like you can't just go around and recommend that to anyone, because
Fasting,
some
right?
people, yes, because some people can really experience discomfort and really
Oh, I know.
faint even.
Well, I mean, when I was raw vegan, I would get frustrated as hell. I would get so annoyed, like with something. Like I would be working at work and something would, and I'd have to like literally, like breath work,
Yes.
and like calm myself down because like you're like getting rid of like parasites and just like negative thoughts and just like anxiety and all types of like stress and stuff like that. And your body's like super sensitive. So when you're dealing with all that at once, it's like you get like overwhelmed.
You mean while you're fasting?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I love working or like being among people when I'm fasting, because that really shows me where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
That's what
mean,
I'm saying. I used to get pissed off like on the phone dealing with customers and stuff.
dude, it's just, I mean, I guess it goes both ways, because I've been doing various forms of fasting for 7 or 8 years now. It goes both ways, man.
Yeah.
I mean, on some days, yes, like I was getting more upset with being around other people, like in the work environment while I was fasting. On some other days, man,
You
like
feel
I
good.
experienced this absolute simplicity and clarity, where I'm like noticing, like of course, like it emerges, like when you get into a potentially conflicting situation, I feel it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, just kind of breathe through it. And I'm just,
Yeah. Sometimes I think you just have to like take a shit or something, probably.
bro, again,
I
there's so
think
many
that's what
moving
it is.
parts, man. Like take a shit, take a piss, take a drink of water, whatever, you know. But
For sure.
it's just a beautiful mystery, man. And today again, I woke up with this deep sense of gratitude that I feel like we, simply because there's no customs and like even tradition, man, like in general, we don't get reminders of how beautiful and priceless life is of a gift. It's a priceless gift. And if we don't have this gratitude, we're lacking on one of these essential motors. It's a motor for willpower and energy. So this just came to me. I just really wanted to share this,
So
because
like every morning you one question I wanted to ask was like what is a good like 30-minute morning routine, night routine that you do?
okay. So my routines, because ever since I moved to Miami now 8 years ago, I implemented morning practices. Even in West Palm Beach, or a year prior to that, I started doing affirmations.
Okay.
But I would say that affirmations and meditation would be like more of advanced practices. I always
Advanced?
advise, yes.
Affirmations?
Yes. Why do I say that?
Yeah.
Because you need calmness and clarity of the mind.
Yeah.
That's why I think that physical exercise and breath work are number one step on why, because these are physical exercises. Why? Because you first want to condition the body physically, because only then for example, very
That's
good
funny that
example.
you say that because like Andy Elliott, he's like a famous like sales guy, right? He talks like he trains like a bunch of people and he has them do like crazy workouts like on his seminars. Like he'll bring people, make them go through a crazy workout and then train them like mentally.
um, Buddhist or Shaolin monks, I think a lot of people are familiar with Shaolin monks.
Yeah.
Google or YouTube Shaolin monk workout.
Yeah.
And some people would ask, like, when you see these kids, what they go through. And then some people would be like, oh my God, in the politically correct West, they would ask the question, oh, why are they torturing these kids and stuff? The main point why Shaolin monks train like this, and this is by far the hardest work. You can't compare this to bodybuilders. You can't, it's a totally different level.
Yeah.
They train, the main reason they train this intensely is to be able to sit in meditation for longer periods of time. So
because you're relaxing and you're breathing and you're
because your
calming
body,
the blood.
yeah, dude, because
you
your
know?
body is so harmonized that your mind just follows.
I mean, even doing anything like in the gym sometimes, I need to go to the sauna first and like sit there for
Saunas
like
are
30
amazing.
minutes in order for me to like work out. But then some days I feel already pumped up. So I work out and then I go into the sauna afterwards, just to like calm down. Also with like showers as well. Sometimes, you feel like I can take a cold shower after I'm taking like I've taken a hot shower for like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, now we can put it cold, super cold, you know. But maybe sometimes you just need to go straight into the cold.
It really depends on, man. Like, it depends on a lot of things. I personally, I have an ice bath at home. Again, that's another thing I don't really recommend to people. Cold showers are fantastic.
Do you have
Convenient.
like the actual like tub thing, or you put the ice?
So not the customized modern ice baths.
Yeah, those
I
are
got
expensive as hell.
myself, yeah, that, and also you don't really, actually, you really don't need those. I
Yeah.
mean, not to say that they don't have like cool features to them, but for myself, I bought I think it's a 7.4 cubic feet deep freezer, the horizontal freezer.
Okay.
Then I filled up the inside grooves with silicone caulk. I bought an aquarium filter. And then once a month, when I empty out the water with a pump and a hose, I put Epsom salt and hydrogen peroxide. I have a hose, like it's inside because I don't have a balcony and I don't really have like an outside place where to put
Yeah.
it. Because if you expose it to the elements, it's gonna deteriorate really fast.
And I get mold and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that's why I keep it inside. My floor is really waterproof, and
And it's a fridge,
it's a deep freezer.
like a deep
It's
freezer.
like an ice cream freezer, like the
Okay.
horizontal freezers,
Fire, okay.
And it's right next to my bathroom. I connect the hose to the tub, to the what's it called, the
To the
water.
faucet, right?
Yeah, the faucet, and then I just can empty it, and then when I empty it, I just wipe it off and
Interesting.
fill it up, and then I do it once a month, and it works, man. It's pretty good.
How often do you ice bath?
When I first got it, I was doing it every day, and then
You had to regulate yourself.
it was, man, it is kind of like an addiction. I can't explain it. And
Yeah.
then at a certain point I was like, I don't really need to do it every day. And then I was doing maybe like 3-4 times a week, especially after a workout. It's like an absolute must for me. You can't compare. And then
Like you kill yourself even more when you work out because you're gonna go into the ice bath, right?
bro, but it's like on some days when it's really hot, I don't really work out at the gym. I do love strength training, but I do more like calisthenics. I work out
Yeah, I
with
see you running in the beach.
with the vest, bro.
Yeah.
Amazing. On some really hot days, I get super tired, bro. I jump into the ice bath, bro. 50% of my energy just comes back instantly. It's amazing. I can't explain
That's
it, man.
crazy. Yeah.
It is crazy.
I haven't gotten into it. I mean, sometimes I'll take a cold shower when like I'll do yard work and I'll be out there for like 2 hours, just like going crazy. I go crazy on the yard sometimes. And then I just come inside like full of dirt and I'll just take a nice cold shower.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten into that like cold shower like routine. Like a lot of people that I follow that, they're like success, minded people. They always say like this guy Andy Elliott, he takes cold showers like at 4 in the morning.
Is that the fitness
5.
dude?
He's like a fitness
I think
sales
I follow
guy.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. He does like cold plunges, every day at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. This other guy used to follow, actually I still do, Arash. He used to do like cold showers every day, basically like just go in the shower and put it cold as soon as you wake up. So I mean, it could be good. Honestly, I probably do need to do something like that.
Why? That's like, again, I don't think I mentioned, I really love simplicity. That's kind of like my like a guideline. Why I really do advise not ice baths, but like cold showers and also breath work is because in such a short period of time, it's like 5 minutes that you do it like every day.
Yeah.
If you really are able to create this habit, you know how many people I meet, man, that they fantasize, they intellectualize of what their problems might be. And I asked them, do you have a regular daily routine? And they're like, no. I was like, there's your problem right there. It is so simple. I'm telling you, man, I keep seeing it in people. I like to notice patterns. I love simplicity, man. Like, if you need, every person needs at least 5 minutes a day of a practice that you do by yourself. Ideally, being calm and peaceful. Like, again, meditation and affirmations are advanced because you need to first condition the body to be able to be still. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So, and that gives you just like having a daily routine. I've seen, you know who Alex Hormozzi is?
No.
He's, for example, he's one of these dudes that he talks down on morning practices. And I'm like, bro, just look at you. You're big. Like, you can't tell me that you don't work out every day.
Of course.
So is that not your everyday routine?
Yeah. You can just tell.
So
at some point it becomes just a habit.
That's what you want.
Once it's a habit, then no. Down.
A lot of moving parts, Odin.
Go to your bed, boy.
All these wires that you can get caught up in, and then
ay Dios. Odin, come on.
Yes.
Go to your bed.
We didn't rehearse this part, guys, by the way.
He's just chilling.
But yeah, I mean, and I really look into these short practices that anyone can do that just can help you.
Duplicatable things.
Yeah, man. Like, it just, and there's so many scientific studies behind all these things, all these practices that I just like to mention it. And,
So in the morning, basically, what do you do?
Okay. So what I do currently, the past couple of years, I wake up, the first 15 minutes, I do basic, simple incantations. So I was doing affirmations before, which is, again, affirmations are like, in the moment, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm successful.
Like looking at yourself in the mirror, or you just talking to
by myself, kind of like meditatively with closed eyes and getting into the feeling. Those are affirmations. Those are good. Those work if you follow it up with action regularly. But then I started hearing about incantations, in a sense, like,
never heard of that.
Instead of saying thank you that I'm healthy, which I believe that feeling of thank you is important. Why am I healthy? Why am I successful?
Questioning yourself.
So asking the question, because in that sense, you're not questioning whether you're healthy or because for some people,
thinking of the reasons why you will become well,
and not really like thinking, just asking.
Or visualizing or something like that.
You're visualizing. What you're visualizing there is being healthy or being successful. Because for some people, the problem is believing that they're healthy and that they're successful. So this kind of
makes you
regulates
start thinking about and visualizing yourself.
And that's a whole byproduct of that.
Yeah.
And then I start like this, first 10, 15 minutes. Then I jump in an ice bath. If I'm not working out, I jump in an ice bath. The best way to wake up, guys. Cold shower in the morning, best way to wake up.
So incantations, ice bath, or ice or cold shower.
Yes. And then I do my breathwork sessions sometimes used to be like years ago up until an hour, then half hour and 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And I'm like, even 7 minutes is good enough for me.
Breathwork?
Breathwork, breathing exercises.
And like, you do like slow breathing, fast breathing, mixed?
So I'm going to give you a very, very quick example. I base my breathing exercises on exhale breath holds, which is the This is just an example where I hold the breath at the bottom with the vacuum, and then I take a sip of an inhale, then I exhale again, and then I connect 9 to 12 exhale breath holds like this, like 2 to 3 minutes long. Then I get into a breathing exercise like either the Bastrika or the Devan Black Airbender.
It's like
the alchemy breathwork, he calls it.
Fast-paced.
Yeah, fast or slow, depending on. And then I do sometimes like, either the Bastrika or Devan's breathing exercise or the alternate nostril breathing, and then I finish again with the exhale breath holds.
What do those? Because I mean, each breath obviously like triggers different things. I would say. Like those probably help you like digest your food, right, and like just like move the stuff that's in your stomach, right. The other, like the faster stuff, I would say like kind of like build like gets your blood going, you know, and then probably the right nostril, left nostril, probably like stabilizes you, like kind of like
That's the best to do like before going to bed, ideally for people that
yeah.
can go to bed. That kind of calms you down. So uh, in ancient Chinese medicine, the general health doctor,
Mhm.
how he determines, or he or she determines your health, your general health, is he asks you to close the mouth, exhale all the air out of your lungs, and hold the breath at the bottom of the exhale. Based on how you are behaving during that, he determines how healthy you are in general. This guy Buteiko, he developed this. I would say it's not just like breathing exercises, but a general like way of healing called the Buteiko method.
Okay.
And he is strongly for the exhale breath holds. Also, I think this guy that wrote The Oxygen Advantage, can't remember his name, but he also talks about the exhale breath hold. And again, like with anything else, there's a lot of stories out there, but for me,
Well, there's some like extremists in everything,
yeah,
you know, like there's breatharians,
yes,
you know, like in
yes,
crazy stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't like to say anything's crazy because,
yes,
you know, there's so much stuff that's crazy. Everything is crazy.
yeah. You
But
don't. We
what do you
can
think about that?
Breatharians.
Yeah.
I personally have met a couple in person. I've met a couple of people that identify as, well, kind of like liquidarians, meaning that they fast most of their days and then they just kind of eat a fruit or like liquid, like juice, mono juice, or like
Mhm.
what's it called, smoothies.
Yeah.
I've never personally met someone that identified as a breatharian, but again, it's outside of my direct experience. I've heard so many wild stories. I've heard people talking about Pleiadians and these things about like UFOs and stuff.
That's yeah, when we were when we used to meet up with like Cole and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I met a couple people that they they said that they were in like Machu Picchu and that they met like literally like aliens, you know. And they didn't even really call them aliens. They're just like terrestrial beings and stuff like that they call them. But they said that they traveled through like portals and
You
you
mean
know,
extraterrestrial beings outside of
yeah,
this realm?
yeah,
Yeah.
or like within this realm. Some you
Okay.
know like some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
I've heard,
like they
yes.
travel through portals and stuff like that. They say, and they've actually met them. You know, you could go on YouTube and look this
Yeah.
stuff up, and there's people that claim to do it too. But
So I would say the easiest thing would be to just dismiss people's experiences. That's the
yeah,
easiest things always to do. But like I really don't like that approach because how can I give myself the I mean, I have the right, of course, to speak my own opinion, but if someone is so sure that they experienced something, I want to understand them.
of
I
course,
don't
yeah,
want to. I would much rather want to understand them rather than be right. Because
yeah,
the more I go through life, man, it's less important to me who's right or wrong. Even though, of course, sometimes it is important, but less important who's right or wrong. It's more important for me for us to grow from our interactions.
yeah.
Because that's what I really am interested in growth and learning. Because existence is such a big mystery, man.
Right, so with your routine, you have the when you wake up, the and incantations, right?
Affirmations/prayer/incantations.
Okay,
Then
and
the
then
ice bath, then breathing exercises, and then I finish it off with meditation, which for me is a very simple, just stillness meditation. I know that some people like guided meditation and stuff, obviously, like different forms of meditation, but I personally sit in silence, preferably on the floor, cross legged, and just 10 to 20 minutes, sometimes 25, with just stillness.
You're
Just
closing your eyes
close my eyes.
and just slow breathing, like not
And
even really like focused on breathing, or
so the main concept is I do focus on breathing, but the main thing is not so much for me to have a perfectly still mind, even though of course this is the ideal. My main intention is to catch myself whenever I experience thinking
Mhm.
and just acknowledge and just let go of the thinking and bring my focus back to the breathing. That's how I also guide meditation. That's the easiest way.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that it's good to like focus on like one point of energy, like whether your eyes are open, like staring at one thing. That's why like people stare at like candle flames.
That's a different practice that has
Yeah.
a different benefits.
Yeah, and then there's like closing your eyes and then focusing on like the top of your head or like
Yeah.
things like that.
Yes. That's another practice. That's a body scan meditation.
Mm.
That's like you wanna. That's another thing that I sometimes practice. You focus on, like for example, you start with your toes and you feel your toes in the toes themselves, and then the whole foot, up the legs.
I there's a Joe Dispenza meditation that I have that he does that. Like
Yes. Again, there's so many approaches, so many practices, and
but your routine, it takes how long? Like an hour?
an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how much time I spend. If I post like in between, like, because I like to not look at my phone before I finish my breathing exercises. So the prayer, ice bath, and then breath work, which is usually around an hour, I don't look at my phone. That's what I focus on. Usually it's like that. Some days, but
Yeah.
and then depending on how long I'm on Instagram and whatnot, it's either from an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's when I'm not working out. And my workout regime is a little bit longer than your regular one. Even though I only work out 3 times a week, I've found my sweet spot. Like in the past, I worked out more often, but I haven't really practiced yoga and I wasn't really focusing on the breathing aspect that much. But now I work out 3 times a week. And it's on days that I work out, I wake up, I do my prayer, I do the breathing exercise. I have I have these dumbbells at home, some bicep curls, like tricep, a little bit of like squats, shoulder workouts, and then I put on my weight vest. I go outside. I go for a run to the beach because I live close to the beach, and there's these calisthenic bars.
Yeah.
So I do also calisthenics, bro, like running and doing calisthenics with the weight vest. Bro, it's amazing. And then I also do sprints, and then I run back home, jump into the ice bath, and then I go outside into the sun to do yoga, and then I finish with meditation.
So you invest like a lot of time into your routine every day.
So when I came to Miami, I had this clear intention to this. What's still my motto. One of my mottos is your results come from your daily practices. And I don't know, man. I always felt like I want to invest in myself.
Yeah.
And I just started experimenting again. I came to Miami wanting to do modeling and acting, even though I never had social media profiles up until the age of 27 when I moved to Miami. And then my agency at that time told me, "Oh, you want to do modeling and they don't have an Instagram profile? You can't do that. You have to make social media." Initially, I was fighting this, but then I was like, "Okay, let me make social media." And then, when you have posts and then you have captions. As I was writing captions for my posts, I just drifted towards mindfulness, man. You know how when you like write, you just express yourself, and sometimes you get something you did not expect. So, and that's how I. First of all, that's how the material for some of my books came to be, and second, that's how I just got to where I'm at right now.
That's awesome, man. I mean, so with the meditation and stuff like that, that's kind of like where your mindfulness and all that, like, is that like writing the captions, it kind of like brought you towards like healing and
the whole,
or just like having to, I guess, like put yourself out there made you want to start like reflecting?
Well,
Like,
that's another aspect, yes.
Yeah.
But like just thinking of material, writing stuff, allowing myself to express myself, I realized what interests me.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
You
That's
know,
what's up, man. And how many books have you written?
so I have um, the first one is shorter, which initially was an audio book, but then I turned it into an ebook. And then the second one, it's two. Second one is my most current one that I wrote in 2020. We Are Abundance. That's pretty much about morning practices and generally about holistic health practices. So two for now.
That's good, man. What made you want to like get into writing books? Just
Again, like that's something that I did not want, that never plan on doing. But my mentors were first telling me, "Hey, what you do is called life coaching," even though I really don't call that like that word, the life coach, those words. And then that's how I developed this holistic wellness, holistic health, whatever practitioner. That's kind of how I label myself now as um, author, speaker, certified breathwork and meditation teacher, and holistic wellness facilitator coach. But then how I got to writing books is these same mentors were telling me, and you should also write books. And then I was like, okay, like, how do you write a book? And then they were like, and then this guy, I was really blessed, bro, and I still am, with a lot of like good people around me, good mentors also. That's why partially I also feel a duty almost to help others. But they were guiding me, and okay, like, you see like these morning practices that you have, do you write some? Do you ever write? It's like, yes, I write. There you go. And how much material do you have? I was like, oh my God, I looked at all my notes. I'm like, oh my God, okay, I guess I do have a lot of material.
Yeah.
And that's how I just, put together the material for my books.
And so you just went through the notes and kind of like
Yes. So and then
organized it.
organized them chronologically.
Yeah.
So from 20, well, depending on what book we're talking about, like chronologically, and then kind of like, of course, I organized them, and then just that's how it came to be.
That's cool. Yeah, I always thought about writing a book either.
Yeah.
Because I cook, so I could write like something like on a like basics on how to cook or stuff like that. Because there's this book also. It's called my sister got it for me. Well, actually, I think it's in the kitchen. Oh, actually, no, it's right here. Salt, fat, acid, heat.
Okay.
Kind of like a kind of book that kind of like relates those four things into like every meal.
Okay.
So
Okay.
kind of want to do something like that. Thought about that. Also, more like correlation, like the law of correlation. Like, I kind of wanted to write a book on that because everything correlates. Like religion, science.
Yes. Yeah.
Philosophy.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So,
yeah.
Everything does have like that foundation and basics. There's simple, like make everything as basic as possible. That's kind of like you even talk about that as well. With the routines and stuff like that, just to make things simple and basic. It creates a good foundation for your life.
That is the best foundation. And then you individually, authentically choose however you want to paint it.
And do you have like a night routine? What do you?
So the only night routine that I have is just usually for like the last 5 minutes of the day. I like to not look at my phone at least 15 minutes before going to bed.
Yeah.
It's usually around that.
Tough nowadays, right?
10, 15, yeah. So I just sit and I have a couple of these affirmations, gratitude, and a couple of these incantations. How I told you, like, why am I healthy? Why am I successful? Where I think about health, and I think about like obviously some of my goals, and I also mention my family, and but that's weird, man. Like, I am currently also financially wealthy, and I am holistic. It depending on how you look at it. So I think with whatever goals we have, it's very good to, again, to correlate them to what we have now, and to kind of feel in this current moment, that future moment, which we're only going to experience in the now. So that's the whole point of how to properly do the affirmations or prayer or
building your belief in every day.
Of course, building a belief, but also how you build it is you feel it. You visualize it, as
Yeah.
you repeat those
You can
affirmations.
see yourself.
Yeah, because some people, I absolutely agree. Law of attraction, like, there's people talk about law of attraction, and there's some people that say it doesn't work. It's like, you cannot say it does not work, but it will definitely not work if you don't supply it with regular activity and action. If you don't, because the point of affirmations is like the mindset, and then you first you focus on certain things, right, that you're repeating, and then you feel them, and then ideally you want to look for the insights that come with that, and then those insights and ideas are supposed to kind of give you direction about how you act towards achieving what you want.
Because when you're picturing it in your mind, you're kind of like seeing how it makes sense about coming about,
That is throughout the day, the insights that you get. But while you're doing the affirmations or whatnot, you're not really trying to make sense of anything. You just want to feel that. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because after you're like, okay, now
after
what?
Throughout the day, but that's the whole point of it. Throughout the day, then your rational mind, the monkey mind, actually gets directed towards certain thoughts, and that's when you start getting the ideas related to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to read all the time. I listen to a lot of audio, like good audio. A lot of back when I was like raw vegan. That's like as soon as I finished high school, I was like super into like personal development for like 6, 7 years, 8 years. I mean, I was vegan for a while too. So probably like 8 years, I was like super into, listening to audios, reading books, being around like-minded people, things like that. Now I kind of want, I don't know, now like naturally I just like have like no routine, but like it's just like I'm just like used to doing certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like cleaning, making sure like everything's organized, making sure like I know how to get myself to a certain mindset. Like if I need to like take a shower or something, like if I'm feeling a certain way, I'll just take a shower like random, or I'll read a book. I don't know, it's weird. I just don't have like a set schedule, but I have certain like things that I know I need because I can like feel like what I'm going through.
But you work out, don't you, right?
Yeah, I work out, but it's not like a routine. It's just like some days I'll go early, some days I'll go at night.
But you work out regularly, right?
Yeah, but it's just not like a.
Again, doesn't have to be every day. That's another thing. Like
It's not like when I wake up, I'm like I have to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like throughout the day, I have things that I like to do. Like even if I don't work out, like I don't know, it's just like sometimes I'll just clean, or I'll just do certain things to just make my life more flowing. Like for like because some people they just feel stuck,
Of
all
course,
the
dude.
time.
Well, that's the whole point. Like, if that works for you, that's fantastic. But that's going for someone that's like totally feels lost.
Yeah,
You want like some kind of structure,
of course.
Because if you're doing what you're doing and it works for you, that's fantastic. Because even if you don't have a set routine of morning practices, you have some activities that you do regularly that keep you like in order. You know what I mean? Because order, like even the religious people, what they say, like God's divine order, that's what ultimately God's presence is. It's this beautiful,
it's in order without being in order.
Out of chaos, because we humans with our logical analytical mind, when we see nature, some people would see chaos. But out of this beautiful natural chaos, natural order forms, or it exists within it.
And like I said, in the beginning, I would have to like do certain things like all the time. But then after a while, just like I'm a Gemini too. Like what's your sign?
So on one hand, I'm Aquarius, but on the other, I don't know a lot about astrology, but on the other, I have 5 planets in Capricorn, which I know is like order and like discipline.
So you have 5 placements in Capricorn. That's a lot. I have 4 placements in Gemini.
Okay.
So I guess that's
like
you're like
you want the
my girlfriend's actually Capricorn, but you have to you're like all about order and discipline.
I love order, bro.
Stuff like that.
It's like,
I mean, my life path is 4 or like 22. So that's like 4 is like the number of law and order.
Okay.
and like 22 is like master builder or whatever. So,
Okay.
but Gemini is like super like all over the place. So like we don't like order. You know what I'm saying?
But see,
Like
but
things in
that's
order
exactly
like
what I
bore
mean,
us.
bro. I believe the main message that Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, all of these masters were trying to teach people is that everything matters and nothing matters at the same time. That everything is real and that nothing is real at the same time.
It's crazy, right?
It is absolutely beautiful because this puts the mind in its place. The mind is not supposed to be the master.
Yeah.
The mind is a beautiful divine tool aspect of our human being, but it is not designed to be the master. It is like a steering wheel.
Yeah. Well, people try to like master their mind.
Yes, yes, yes. Exactly. But what I'm saying is just in this, everything matters and nothing matters at the same time. The logical mind cannot fathom contradiction, does not even allow for both of these extremes to coexist, yet it is.
And we try to make it like concrete, but
Yes.
nothing is like,
Which is beautiful, just fantastic. That is what the at least the logical mind is designed for, to see the lines and to implement the lines, which is now more than ever very important. Lines, in my opinion, that means order. Bro, do we need order, bro?
oh yeah, now more than ever for sure. Things have gotten out of order. You know,
And bro, like so many. The internet is super oversaturated with information. You can't really call these things information anymore, bro. It's just noise.
yeah, I know. I find myself like when I'm scrolling, I'm like,
Bro, me too, man.
just like, damn, like what is this? This is overload.
Yes.
You know, like you want to throw away your phone, but at the other end, you're like, damn, like you almost can't. You know, because then you're gonna be disconnected from everything.
Right. Again, it seems like all of these systems are serving its purpose to make someone profit. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean that's why I follow like certain people. Like I
Yeah.
try to delete certain people. Like if I'm like seeing someone and I'm just like like you just delete them.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Like a lot of the content, like the people that are like famous and like the new comedians and the new podcasts and all that stuff. It's like a lot of it's like just so ignorant. You know, it's like so stupid. You know,
Well, because it's designed for a certain crowd, right?
yeah.
And again, dude, like coming back to like what you said, you're talking about like your sign, Gemini. That's just an example, bro. Like that. On one hand, we humans, for example, with the breathing, we have like similarities. On the other hand, each individual is just unique, and
Yeah,
it's so beautiful, bro.
astrology is crazy too.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
everything, I guess, because I mean, nowadays, like there's a lot of people with the numerology, astrology, all that stuff. I like to know about it. I don't
Yeah.
like try to. I don't make it like 100%.
Me neither. But then
it's
again,
good to know. It's like a tool, you
it's
know.
good to
Just like
know.
you said, you understand your energy a little bit more. Like you were born on this date when this energy and everything was aligned. So there is some type of correlation.
Yo.
Like you could read your chart and you're like, damn, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's a little bit true. Like it'll be like on point, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, am I like a robot or something? Like, you know, I was just like, how did this computer know exactly based on
Isn't it interesting? That means that there's something to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course. So yeah, I mean, I try to correlate things, like I said, like my numerology, my astrology, like who I am, like without and knowing any of that, like who I was before any of that, like what I'm already into without knowing that information, then you know you kind of get a good idea, you know, of what you're kind of like good at and skills or like what you're kind of like meant to be in a way. But
you get to know yourself a little bit better, and in many temples around the world, interestingly, in the native languages, it says "Know thyself." So,
what do you know, like your numerology and stuff? Not really.
No, bro.
You never looked into it?
I think I had many people look into it, but I just don't forget. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
the most I remember is what I told you, that I have 5 placements in Capricorn, even though I'm Aquarius. And in that sense, how I understand that is like I'm kind of like a blend of like two opposites. In a sense.
Yeah, no, like my moon is in Cancer, and that's like the home of like the moon. Like that's the moon's placement, Cancer. So it's like super emotional and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like in like 12th house, so it's like super like the 12th house is like the last house, so it's like underneath everything. It's like super secret. It's like locked in a box.
Okay.
So like supposedly like my emotions and everything is like locked in a box, and I like
Okay.
I don't show them to like
Okay.
mostly like anyone. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean I think I do like, but you know it's a different
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I more like understand it more. You know what I'm saying? So like I keep it in there, you know,
Yeah.
until like you actually need it, you know.
Yeah.
But the Gemini aspect is like connecting with people, you know, not being very
Attached to any.
yeah,
right?
not attached to anything, you know, like that's why like with the routines and stuff, it's just like I get bored after a while. I'm just like, damn, what am I like? I don't
Oh,
like
bro.
now I don't want rules.
Oh, bro, of
I just
course,
want to do
dude.
whatever.
Dude, are you kidding me? Like some days, the last thing I want to do is go for a workout or do a breathing exercise.
Yeah.
But for me, again, it's what you feel resonates with you, man. Like ultimately, I really do think, even though some people think I'm kind of like imprisoning myself this way, thinking this way, but I really do strongly believe that I have this duty to simply not even, bro. I just hold space for people to just remind themselves that they are divine, that they do not need anything outside of them, and then they get to choose who they want in their life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are like deep things that a lot of people kind of skip, because I truly do see as an orderly human being, there's so much info out there, so many things, right, that you want to stay on top of, but you don't want all the drawers open all the time, right? You only open a certain drawer when you need something,
Yeah.
and then you use it and you put it back and then you close the drawer, right?
Yeah. Well, what kind of like self-talk do you have like when you're like pushing through, like going through that?
Am I aware? Am I aware? I welcome all uncomfortable feelings, emotions, and thoughts. And am I this feeling, emotion, thought, or am I the one that is aware of it? These three are, I think, from the book, the something, not the secret, but the metaphysical secret, something like that. From, can't remember her name. I don't think it's Louisa Hayes. I'm not quite sure, but it's from the same author that wrote The Secret. So
okay.
that the first thing that comes to my mind.
Am I aware?
Am I aware? Like when it gets like dark, when it gets really like messy up here, I would see the breathing first, and then am I aware? Am I like really aware? And then no matter where you're at, you're always what that does is that separates you from the situation. So you can get more of an insight, like what's going on.
Yeah, like an observer.
Yes. And then
state.
I allow, especially when I'm really, I developed a lifestyle where no matter where I'm at, I always am with myself. So I can always be like, oh, I allow all these feelings. I allow them. I welcome them.
Yeah.
So I can really allow them to just happen within me, and I process them through the breathing. And then, am I this feeling, emotion, thought, or am I the one that is aware of it? Which am I closest to? Definitely the awareness, definitely the observer.
Of course. And like you do that too, like when you're fasting more, like when you're fasting, you really get like that, right?
Especially when I'm fasting, especially because I do the once in 6 months that I do. So I don't think we mentioned it so I've been practicing various forms of fasting for 7 years now. So I do intermittent fasting. I don't eat breakfast, never before noon usually, even though I think from what I know now, I think it's ideal to kick out dinner rather than breakfast. But me, I don't eat breakfast, and once in a week, I do a 36 to 40 hour water fast.
Once a week?
Once a week.
Okay.
And then once in 6 months, I do a 5-day water fast.
So the fasting, you do a lot of like water fasting.
Yeah.
You do once every week, you do a 36-hour fast.
Yes.
And then every 6
months, a 5-day water fast.
5-day.
And then one of those 5 days is a dry fast also, which I always clear my schedule. water, bro, I can work out, obviously lighter workouts.
Yeah.
I, work, no problem. Dry fasting, clear my schedule, I stay at home. And that really, for people that are familiar with Jordan Peterson, that really feels like I'm wrestling with God, bro.
Yeah.
It really gets tough, and it seems like it's harder to breathe sometimes. And
So you just lay down in bed, or
no,
what do you
sit,
try to do?
meditate. I, usually like meditate or like watch some kind of like lighter like videos on YouTube, like, like
Funny stuff.
no, lighter. Okay, see,
What do you mean?
I don't really watch like Netflix and stuff like that. I mean like lighter, like spiritual stuff.
Okay.
Like people like Joe Dispenza and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing like too outside of my belief system, even though I'm getting more into like watching people who I disagree with.
Okay.
I'm really getting into that now. But yes, when I'm dry fasting, that, and then, bro, rarely can I go over 24 hours dry. But I don't
Do you eat meat now?
eat everything. I mean, again, at home, I don't really buy meat.
How was it when because you were raw vegan, like how was it when you first started eating the meat?
I used
Like
to
what did you do? Like what was your experience?
I used to drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, eat a lot of processed meats and processed foods up until the age of 27.
Yeah.
And then I started paying more attention, and then like slowly eating less and less meat, and then getting into like a raw vegan fruitarian phase for a year and a half. And then, bro, I was just, I like the flavor, taste of meat.
Yeah.
And I just had it again, and then at home I make myself eggs with cheese regularly, like every other day. And then, steak.
We were talking about the like podcast with what was it, Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan and Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard, yeah. Just all the crazy stuff, all the philosophies and the health stuff, religious stuff,
Yeah.
worldly stuff going on. Great talk. Appreciate you coming on the
Absolutely,
podcast,
bro.
brother.
Like, thank you for having me, man.
Definitely learned a lot, and makes me want to start working on like that routine as far as like the breath work, the ice baths, and I got to get into that stuff. The other stuff I kind of do, working out, being grateful, like the self-talk, that stuff is like kind of like programmed, just being like positive person. But definitely with the cold showers, I got to push myself to do that stuff, and the breath work.
Short and sweet, bro. The shorter the better. 5 minutes is enough, man.
But anyone listening to this, if you want to get a better routine, get more spiritual, tap into yourself more, definitely recommend reaching out to Milan. He does this full time, helping people get their minds right, their bodies right, and just getting in the right direction. I appreciate you coming on for the second episode.
Absolutely.
Definitely welcome you back again, and look forward to what you guys get from it.
Peace.
Peace out, guys.